Okay, good. I think we are still in Tehillim Yud Gimel, and we were talking about this Tehillim of Galut. Adanna Hashem tishkacheni netzach, Adanna tastir et panecha mimeni. Right, so we have the here. Adanna Tehillim 13, 1-3. So למנסה so לדוד, עד אנה השם תשכחני נצח. So first Hashem, he forgot us. He forgot. He forgot about me. It doesn't mean Hashem forgets. It means it looks like Hashem forgot. Because he's hiding. That's what it means. Ad anna tastir et panecha. Until when are you going to hide your face? Right?
Yes.
What's the difference between tishkacheni? Tishkacheni means Hashem forgot, but I still have the... I don't want Shida to say we're taking her people. Tell her to go there. Tehillim is over there.
It's not your business.
Siluk, so the first is siluk hashgacha. So when you forget me, means that, okay, you forgot me, but you still have hashgacha. Haster panim means, I want to, Hashem, leave me alone. Leave you alone? Okay, so you're alone. So he doesn't give his providence to you, his hashgacha. Right? That's even worse. Adanna ashit etzot benafshi. Right? And what's that? That now I'm going to have to escape. Find etzot, how to escape. My despair. Because I can't see Hashem. So I have to fill in my life with other things, Ad anna ashit etzot benafshi. Yagon bivavi yomam. Melancholy, yagon, you have yagon ve'anacha. Yagon ve'anacha anaha is sighing, and yagon is anxiety. Anxiety. Yomam, even during the day, forget about night. Ad anna yarum oivi alai. How long will my enemy triumph over me? How long is he going to be high over me? Triumph is a good word. Yagoni says melancholy. Okay. Habita, look, Aneni. Now David is saying, don't hide your face anymore from me. Don't make me feel like you forgot me. Don't make me feel like I have to go and look for ways how to feel my neshama. Because ultimately, it's the neshama that when people go after money, they need love, they need everything that the person thinks he needs is an expression of the neshama that really needs to be fulfilled by, it's like the flame going back, the candle going back to the flame, to the source. It wants to go back to its source. That's really what it is. But so it has to fill itself with all kind of etzot, all kind of things in life, to fill up for that real yearning. What's the yearning? The yearning for the neshama, the yearning for the person is to really, to fulfill what the neshama came to do to this life. You see? Because the person, he tends to think that we came to this life just to go through it the best we can, and hopefully I won't end up in an old age home, forgotten and thrown away like a discarded tea bag. You know. So I have to survive. I'll make it. Listen, I made it comfortably into my old age. I died in my own house. I died in my own bedroom, surrounded by my children. I'm happy. What do you mean? That's not what it's about. We're missing completely. This world is just a corridor. That's all it is. It's a corridor to the palace. That's all it is. העולם הזה פרוזדור לעולם הבא. Famous saying. What does that mean? That we came to this world to do a tikkun, to fix ourselves, so that we can really enjoy over there in the palace, because the palace is infinite, for infinity, forever. Here it's just for the time being. Yeah? You remember I told you the story of the Chafetz Chaim, that this guy came to see the Chafetz Chaim and he saw the house of the Chafetz Chaim was dilapidated, falling, very old, the sofa torn. Not like here, very nice, you put plastic. You bring from Iran, nice one, with a lot of money, No, the Chafetz Chaim had, the floor was like, no tiles yes, tiles no, everything balagan. So the rich man came with a suitcase, was traveling, and the Chafetz Chaim came to see the Chafetz Chaim. And the Chafetz Chaim said, "Can I make some tea for you?" He says, "No, it's okay, And the guy was so wealthy, he lived in a palace. So he says to the Chafetz Chaim, "No, but I'd like to help the rabbi, with your permission, Rabbi, that, to live in a more place where you can, but to receive people more, comfortably, the rabbi, comfortably, to be nice, make it nicer, to make this. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Chafetz Chaim, no, there's nothing wrong with that. He said, but why do you carry that suitcase? You have a suitcase. He says, I'm just passing through. I'm going to go to my nice... The Chafetz Chaim says, I'm also just passing through. I'm passing through. This is just for a little bit. What do I do? You see, in the corridor that we pass through the corridor, the prosdor, we start getting comfortable. We like the corridor. We enjoy it so much. Let's put a little air conditioning. Let's put a little heater. Let's put nice carpets. Let me put a nice bed. Let me make it comfortable in the prosdor. And then I forget I'm in the prosdor. Why are people afraid to die? Yes, you can say people are afraid of death because they don't know what's going to be. Okay, but why should that make you afraid? If you don't know, what's the worst that could be? You die and you go to sleep and bye-bye, like you go to an operation. You ever went to an operation? And they put the thing here, and you say, oh, I hope this operation is not going to hurt. That's the worst. But no, we're afraid. You know why we're afraid? Because we don't want to live the corridor. We don't want to leave our family. We don't want to leave our friends. We don't want to leave our home. We don't want to leave our comforts, our life. And what? We don't want to leave it. It's so nice. Why we don't want to leave this? No, I want to stay here forever. But Hashem says, no. Hashem says, this is just a corridor. Just passing. Just passing. This is not the point. It's over there. You're missing out. No, I like it here. There was once a big professor, very smart, very, very smart. This is a true story. Rabbi Shlomo, my teacher, told me, and he was like, but his wife died from cancer, the children died in a car accident, and he started drinking alcohol, and he became alcoholic, and then he did drugs. And he lost his house, and he lost his job. and he lost everything. And he became homeless, and he became living under a bridge, sleeping in the street, homeless. You see? His friends who were in the university came and said, look what happened to the professor, look how he's living. Let's get together. They made a big dinner for him. They brought him clothes. They bought an apartment between all of them. Yeah? They made the apartment nice. They made it beautiful, with books, comfortable, nice, clean. A week later, the main professor, his friend, comes to knock on the door. No one there. He goes inside, nobody in there. He asks the neighbors, no, nobody lives there. We haven't seen anybody in months. He goes to look for the professor under the bridge, and there he is, sleeping under the bridge. He likes it. But we have the home. The home is like a palace. No, I like it. This is my home. I like it. Hashem is telling us, Olam Haba. I don't know Olam Haba. What Olam Haba? Maybe it exists. Maybe it doesn't. You know? You have emunah. You know what is emunah? People think emunah is a guessing. I guess. Maybe it's true, maybe not. Maybe we have Tahiyat Metim, Miriam, maybe we don't. Maybe there's Olam Haba, maybe not. I don't know. It's a guessing game. That's what emunah. Emunah means I don't know. And maybe it is, maybe not. Okay, so it's like the roulette, you know. I'll put a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. So if I win, one of them will win. So I keep Shabbat just in case. I keep kosher. Well, it's good, it's healthy, just in case. You see, I put my bets on it. Maybe yes, maybe not. This is emunah. This is emunah. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. But my teacher said emunah is not maybe or not. Is to know. But to know not from the mind. To know from the neshama. From the heart, the neshama knows. That it's beyond. You have a spiritual feeling that that this is what it is. Because you cannot come to terms with this could be all the reality. You know, this is what it is. This is what there is. You know, hey, but nobody came back from Olam Haba. That's true. But nobody stayed in the corridor either. Forever. Huh? Nobody is here forever. So you have to take your bets. What are you going to do? Chachamim tell us, no, it's just... But the fear of death is because we don't want to leave the prosdor because we came used to being in the prosdor. We got used to it. We don't want anything else. We're not interested. This I know for sure. This I know is for sure. Olam Haba, it's a nice theory. It's nice in the shiurim, in the theory, right? But that is all made. Hashem wanted us to live in wonder. He didn't want us to live in certainty. If He wanted us to live in certainty, He would have made us live in certainty. But then there's no free will. And then we would be doing the right thing because we're afraid. Not because we're doing it because it's the right thing to do. Out of conviction. And not because even though everybody else is telling me not to do it, I'm going to keep Torah mitzvot. Even though everything is telling me not to. I'm going against the grain. You see? And that is why we live in the prosdor. We live in uncertainty. We live in not knowing what's going to be in the next minute. We don't know. Hashem, that was made intentionally by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So that we choose Him. We're not forced to choose Him, but we choose Him because something inside of us tells us this is the truth. This is the truth. And that's faith. That's a big leap. That's a big leap. And the more you're invested in the corridor in this world, the harder it is. The harder it is to believe in Olam Haba, to believe that there's an afterlife, to believe that there's a reward and punishment. The harder it is. So David says, Habita, Aneni. So look at me. Look at me. And Aneni, answer me, Hashem, Elokai. Ha'ira enai peni shanam mavet. Look, enlighten my eyes, lest I slumber into death. That's a very interesting pasuk. What does that mean? After we said the four expressions of despair, tishkacheni, astir et panecha, ashit et sod benafshi, yagon bilo v'yoman, right? He says, look at me. He asked for three things. First, he says, how long will you forget me? How long will you hide your countenance from me? Look at me. Take notice. Right? Abita, one. Aneni, take notice. Answer me. Hashem Elokai, make me, you are my God. I want you to be my God. Ha'ira enai, enlighten my eyes, illuminate my eyes from the darkness, right? Let me make a plan how to make it into Olam Haba. Because the whole secret is that we have to be in the corridor but not be at the same time. We have to be but not to be. That means we have to be because this is the place where we build Olam Haba. Olam Haba is only in the corridor, that's it. Once you're there, you're done, finished. So we have to be here. This life is very precious because it's the only way how to get there. It's the bridge. It's the corridor how to get to Olam Haba. Without this life, we won't get there. But at the same time, if we stay just in this life and put the focus only in this life and everything for this life, then this world becomes a pit. Then we never get out. It's like the fly paper. You know the fly paper? That paper that you put and the flies go and get stuck. They can't get out. Yeah? You know this paper? Yellow paper. You put it for the many flies and they get stuck. They can't leave, the flies can't get out. It's the same. So it says that Rabbi Nachman and Rav Chisda, they were learning together and they said, listen, let's make a deal. So Rav Nachman says, what? The first one that dies and he goes to Olam Haba, let come to the other one in a dream. Rav Nachman says, good idea. Good idea. So Rav Chisda dies, and Rav Nachman is sleeping, and he has a dream. And in the dream, Rav Nachman sees Rav Chisda. And he says, how is it? How was it? He says, you know, when I was dying, I saw many neshamot that were dying at the same time. And for those neshamot, they felt like taking the cotton out of the thorns. You couldn't pull them. It was like they were hanging on. For me, dying was like taking the hair out of the yogurt. You know, you take a hair out of a yogurt. It was very easy. I was able to leave Olam Hazeh because I wasn't holding on to Olam Hazeh. People want to hold on. You know, I want to make sure when I die that this money goes for this, my name is mentioned, that my name is written, that this is, you know, if they're going to take anything with them, you know. So this is what it is. So now it says, Ha'ira enai penishana mavet. So give light to my eyes, because not I die. Because what happens? A person that just lived for the corridor, just lived for his body, just for the food, for the sex, for the money, amassing wealth, collecting goods, whatever it is, just for this life. When this life is over, his life is over. It's hers, it's Maryam. He dies, his life dies. Finished. The only thing is that
We should go to the bathroom.
no, she went to the other class. So if the person dies, when the person dies, if he lives just for his body, just for this life, and he says, I have no interest, I don't believe in anything. I don't believe in Olam Haba, I don't believe in Prosdor, I don't believe in anything. I believe in what I see. I believe in science, I believe in others, I believe in the body. I believe that's it. No spirit, I don't know, I don't believe in anything. Right? So when he dies, that's it. He doesn't go to Olam Haba. It's not a punishment. It's just the consequences of what he's done. He didn't invest. That's it. That's it. If he goes to sleep, he dies, and he disappears, and that's it. If he's done something good during his life, then that's something else. Then there is hope. Then he might go to Gehinnom, and again, Gehinnom, he pays for all the pleasure that he's taken. Because somebody has to pay. You came to this life, the neshama is not yours, the body is not yours, it's on loan. You came and you just enjoyed it, that's it. So now you have to pay. You pay back in Gehinnom. You cleanse yourself. And then you come back to reincarnate. And you have a chance to do everything you didn't do. And you can do that about 8 times. You do Gilgul, yes. But Gilgul is diluting the neshama. Because which neshama is going to get up in Tehiyat HaMetim? If you were 8 people, who's going to get up? Ronit? Which Ronit? This Ronit? Or the previous 6 Ronit? Which one of them is going to get up? Right? So that means you're going to have to share. You're going to have to share that body that's getting up, that person, that self who's getting up in Tehiyat HaMetim. You're going to have to share it with the other ones. When you share it, you lose a part of yourself, of the consciousness, of the self. You see? That's very important. Because you become a hybrid of all of them. That means a part of you is in there, but there's also part of others. As you have now. You carry parts of other reincarnation. That's that you have different facets of your personality. You have the shadow, you have other past lifetimes, other past traumas, other past people. Are you sure you can do regressive past, what's it called? Regressive? Past life regression? Where you can go back and see who you were in your past life. People can do this. So that means that you get lost. You yourself, you're very little part of that person. You're not. When you come back next time, you lose part of who you are. And that person becomes the main one. And you become just a part in that. So you see? So the question is, which one gets up in Tehiyat HaMetim? The answer is the one that did the most tikkun. The one that did the most fixing. That's how the body is going to be the most reflecting that person. Sure. Right? If the first person didn't like, for example, didn't like any clothes, they went naked, so that person is going to be the naked part of that person. The next person liked just to wear underwear, so it'll be just underwear. So the next person, he liked to wear underwear, no, he liked to wear a skirt, so she'll wear a skirt. The next person, she liked, as an example, right? Something physical. She liked to wear a skirt and a blouse, she'll wear a skirt and a blouse. So the last person, she did a great fixing. She wore a beautiful, Chanel dress. So the one that gets up in Tehiyat HaMetim is the one with the Chanel dress. Okay, but she still have underwear. But the underwear is that person. So that manifests just the underwear. You see? That's how it works. So the garment that the body is going to be wearing, that the soul is going to be wearing, is going to be of the person that did the majority of the building towards that person. Of course. If I did the greatest effort and I put in the most time and effort, of course it's going to be a reflection of me. It's not going to be a reflection of somebody else. Okay, that person will have some reflection because she did fix something. Whatever she fixed will be reflected in that person. But that's it. So you're going to have to share that being with other beings who were there before you. You see? And that's a punishment. Because unless, for example, the person came and didn't fix anything. He reincarnated 7 times, didn't fix nothing. So he's reincarnated an 8th time to see if he can fix. And the 8th time, the person fixes everything. That could be 2. The other 7, they don't show up. They don't show up in that person. They get lost. You see? But whatever that, everything that those people took from this life, that they enjoyed and they had, they have to pay back. You can't come to this life, enjoy this life, have a croissant with coffee every morning, have wonderful relations with a man, have children, enjoy them, and you didn't do anything to fix yourself whatsoever. You did 0. You have to pay for all those enjoyments. You have to go to Gehinam and you have to pay for them. How do you pay? You go there and you do some work. You work. You cleanse yourself. You pay back. Doesn't mean you have to suffer. Not necessarily. But you have to pay back. The Reshaim, for example, Hitler, when he dies, he disappears. That's it. But before he disappears, he goes to Gehinam. Why does he go to Gehinam? Because he has to pay back for the strudel with the cream and the cappuccino that he had every morning. Because he loved the strudel with cream. And he loved dogs. He loved his German Alsatian. So he enjoyed him. So he has to pay for all that. He has to pay for being in this world for 56 years. And enjoy breathing and getting up and sleeping and having power. All those things that he enjoyed, he's got to pay back. And then Hashem, he disappears. He goes to Gehinam, and by suffering, he pays back for everything. And then he disappears into oblivion. Poof. Why? Because nothing goes unpaid. It's like income tax. Nobody gets away. Somebody has to pay the bill. Somebody has to pay the bill. Right? One of the things that allows us to do teshuvah is that when you do teshuvah, right, the person suffers, right, because of the regret that he has for the sin he did. Like David HaMelech was 13 years in his bed, couldn't get up for Bathsheba, the sin of Bathsheba. Those 13 years of suffering paid for those 13 hours of pleasure that he had with her. You see? It's the suffering that pays for the... But to say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not gonna charge you, there's no such thing. Justice is justice. Chesed is chesed. Oh, so where's chesed? Chesed is that you can do it at all. That you can do it at all. That you can fix it in that way. What do you mean? The guy who does teshuvah, he killed someone, and he's a father, I killed him. He left orphans and a widow, but I did teshuvah. Okay, you did teshuvah. But who's going to pay for the suffering of the orphans and the widows? Somebody has to pay. He has to pay. After he does teshuvah, he has to suffer. Preferably, be'olam hazeh. In this world, he has to suffer. He does teshuvah, but he has to suffer. You see? And then he pays for what he did. And then he's clean. Say, yeah, but you made the orphan suffer. Yeah, but I suffered too. So I paid for the suffering. I paid for that suffering. I suffered. So I paid. You see? And Hashem also, there's rachamim, there's chesed in that he doesn't do it straight away. He waits and waits and waits and waits. And he doesn't bring all, and then when he punishes you, he doesn't bring all the suffering at once. He brings it slowly. So that you can take it, so you don't break. Erech Apayim, he waits and waits and waits and sends you hints. So that's chesed, that's rachamim. But to say that rachamim completely takes justice away, no such thing. No such thing. That's what we're asking from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, next week we'll do it again.